Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 243.
It's moving day once again, so we got all packed up in our room here at Coronado Springs, called Bill Services, and had them transfer our luggage over to Boardwalk. But we did not leave right away. We went up to the front and hung out there as everyone was getting ready to leave from the conference. We stayed there for a few hours, saying goodbye, chatting with everyone, wishing them a safe trip home, and hoping to see them next year for the conference. We had a wonderful time just once again visiting with everyone before they take off, took some pictures with some friends before we finally did take an Uber over to Boardwalk, where we have a deluxe room with club level access.
Club level is where it's at. I am so excited. We've had so many good days in a row the last couple days between Galaxy's Edge opening, the VIP tour, the great food at the conference itself, and now having club level access. I'm pretty proud of myself for booking these things the way I did because I knew we were going to want club level, and that was the reason I booked it. It wasn't because there was nothing else available. That would never happen, of course.
When we got there, our room was ready, so we got checked in, headed straight to our room, took pictures and 360 pictures around the room, and then did a full room tour for Facebook and YouTube.
So other than that, on this half of the room, it's pretty standard compared to the rest of the rooms at Boardwalk. But this second half over here is what you get when you have the deluxe room, and it gives you the extra ability to sleep 2 more people and a little bit more space. So we've got a chair here and a nightstand. We also have a couch that is a pull-out queen bed. So you can sleep 2 more people there on the couch. And then we have this beautiful picture of the carousel and the castle. And if you'd like to see that entire room tour, it's linked in the description below and up there in the corner. The room was pretty great. I love how big it is. It sleeps 6 people. It's only 2 of us, but it sleeps 6 people, which is really nice. And we had a great view of the boardwalk, so I'm kind of excited we might be able to see some entertainment later on tonight. We went down to the lounge and grabbed some quick snacks. We're not really all that hungry, but we did want to eat a little bit of something. And then we came back to the room to take a nap because we are both exhausted from the last couple days. We just need a little nap to recharge a little bit before we keep going with the day. When we woke up, we called my sister and brother-in-law because they're coming down in just a couple days. They've got a week-long trip planned. They're very excited about it, but at this point, Hurricane Dorian was threatening to hit Florida, and everyone was talking about canceling. There's lots of changes to plans, flights being canceled, all this stuff, and they were worried that the day they were to arrive was the day that Dorian was also going to arrive, and they might not be able to come down for a few extra days after that. So when we were talking about options and plans, we said, well, we have a room right now that sleeps 6, and then after this we have a bunch of big rooms because it's September, which means cheaper points for Disney Vacation Club as far as the number of points per night. And so we booked a bunch of 3-bedroom and 2-bedrooms. So if you want to come down a few days early and stay with us, we've got space, but you just have to find a flight down here. So they decided that was what they were going to do. They're going to rearrange their schedule. They can move their flight for free because of all the weather issues. And so they moved their flight to tomorrow, and they're going to come in early, which means they're also going to get to experience club level with us. And this big room is not going to be wasted on just us.
It will also be fun for them because they have never experienced club level before, so this will be the first time they get access to club level. We're very excited about that for them because they were not going to be here while we had club level access. So because they're changing their flight, now they will. After we talked to them and got everything worked out, we walked over to Epcot to meet with a couple friends. They wanted to do a little snacking because it is Food and Wine Festival, and we have tried several things now at the festival, but we want to spend time with our friends. While we were talking to them, we were over by Morocco, and someone said, I think it's gonna rain. And we turned around because where we were looking, there were blue skies, it was beautiful. We turned around and watched a wall of water come across the lake. There was nowhere to go. There's literally nowhere indoors you can go unless you're going to a restaurant or something, and we were just like, here it comes, and it just rained on us. And it was amazing because we all just kind of stood there as this shower of water just drenched us, and you saw guests everywhere running around like crazy. But everyone that saw it first went to the few places you could go that was under shelter, and so there was nowhere else for the rest of us to go. So we all just got wet, and that was the first part of our day with them. but thankfully it did not last long. In fact, it was one of the shortest rain showers we have experienced here at Disney. Once it stopped raining, we headed to the Spain booth to try the charcuterie in a cone. We had heard that this was really good. It looks really cool, and none of us liked it.
No, very disappointing.
All thought it was really disappointing and not worth the money at all. Because it's cheese and meat, it costs a little more than some of the other snacks, and we paid more for something we didn't really love. So we went to a booth that we knew we couldn't go wrong, the Alps. We headed over there and got raclette, which was delicious. All four of us loved this. And it was just really cool to watch them put the cheese in it. Like, that was just a really cool thing to enjoy. We then headed to the cheese studio. Yes, it is a different booth. And we got the beef stroganoff. And again, this was amazing. So thankfully, 2 out of 3 were really good. We had some enjoyable snacks. We just kind of tasted everything while our friends were enjoying it. They also got some gelato while we were there, and we just had a really nice time spending time with them, walking around the countries. And then we headed back because we didn't want to miss dinner. We are paying for club level access, which means we want to make sure we get food. So we said our goodbyes and walked back to Boardwalk and headed to dinner. And just like always, there was a chef, just like every night here at Boardwalk Club level. Tonight they had mac and cheese, which Robert was thrilled about, of course.
No, they had fancy mac and cheese because there were goldfish on top. You can't leave that part out. They are fancy mac and cheese.
And there was steak salad, which I enjoyed a lot more than the mac and cheese. I'll call that my fancy dinner. I had the steak salad. It was really good. We went up for several helpings of it. Everything else was the same as we'd had before. Those were the only things that were really different. And this was just so good. We ate so much tonight because at this point we are really hungry. We've been walking around Epcot. We've had a very busy day. We've had a very busy last few days. And so it was just so nice to just sit with no schedule the rest of the night and just enjoy this amazing dinner and eat as much food as we want. Not that we haven't been doing that the last few days with everything else going on, but we just had a really nice time just sitting there together enjoying the meal.
After dinner, we headed back over to our room for just a few minutes, and we were in there doing some stuff, kind of unpacking. We got bell services to bring our bags, all that good stuff. And then, of course, it's time for dessert because, you know, they do that an hour apart. It's like, well, we finished dinner. It's dessert time. So we went back down to the lounge to have dessert. And tonight they had a lot of different cupcakes and cookies. For whatever reason, they had several different ones. Of course, Alyssa can't eat most of those things because they have sprinkles on them, but they did have some PB&J shooters, which is the first time we've seen them anywhere but Wilderness Lodge. Now, they're not quite as good as Wilderness Lodge. They have a different peanut butter to jelly ratio, and they use a different type of jelly, and they prepare it a little bit differently, but they were still good, so I was excited to find PB&J shooters. And they also had some Oreo fudge that was incredibly sweet, but really good if you like Oreos like I do. After we had desserts and I took some of those PB&J shooters to take with me back to the room, we went out on our balcony of our room and we're just enjoying being out above the boardwalk and kind of seeing all the nightlife down there. And there was a performer that came out and she had all these hula hoops that light up and she was spinning them like all different ways on her arms and legs and everything else. All kinds of stuff. It was really cool to see her perform from the top instead of sitting down there on the ground and watching. It was a different angle, and it was a perfectly beautiful night, super clear outside after all the rain we had earlier. It just totally cleared up, and we looked up from watching her perform and realized we could very clearly see the fireworks from Happily Ever After over Yacht Club when we looked across the lake. So it was really fun to get to kind of enjoy the boardwalk entertainment, but also enjoy Happily Ever After. Although the music just did not work because I can see the fireworks in my head. I'm like, oh, that's the one that goes off when Olaf is talking, or that's the one that goes off during the Pirates part. And the music is nothing like that because it's boardwalk music and it's the music from the performance down there. After we went back inside, we were snacking on some of those desserts we brought back with us, and we heard some noise outside like there was another performer coming out, and sure enough, Coney Island Chris was out too. So we sat out there on the balcony and watched him as well. We've seen all the shows on the boardwalk, but we still enjoy seeing them because they're so much fun and the interaction they have with guests is always a great time. After his show was over, we did go inside and go to bed. We are completely wiped at this point, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
for our Year with the Ears.